Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Lefty. Hey, Lefty, what you say?
Lucky Lefty Nation, what's going on? Welcome in. It is the Slant right here at the Lucky Lefty Podcast, featuring and brought to you by Onora Whiskey. Go to OnoraWhiskey.com and get some of that premium American whiskey, something to sip on as you watch the Irish each and every Saturday. It's the Onora Whiskey that'll get you through those games, man. You know, games that should be blowouts and you end up down up three with 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter and need a reverse the field 98-yard touchdown from your best player to kind of give you some breathing room. That's the type of thing you need to sip on while you go through those seesaws, up and downs, with your Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It's Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. So, as always, I am Shaun Davis at SD2 Mike's, my guy, the original Lucky Lefty himself, that dude, Malik Zaire, at Overtime Malik. Let's get right to it. Brian Kelly joined the media, and as we talked about it last week, he when he was asked about this week, he was like, nothing ever changes. It's the same thing as always, preparing for Navy. They are who they are. The game is what it is each and every year. Preparation is the same. So the dread that you spoke about and your experiences as a player, looking forward to the preparation, that was echoed by Brian Kelly this week. You expect a game where they're going to run the clock, minimize your opportunities. You have to be efficient on offense, hopefully get out in front, take them out of their game and force them to pass the ball more and not be as judicious with the pass. And, you know, just be better. You know, it is what it is. He did talk about how the defense struggled mightily early in the season, giving up 40 points twice. But recently, you go back to the Cincinnati game where they played them very tough and was able to make it a one-possession game late, and they just weren't able to recover their onside kick. And they've continued to play very well, much better, coming to this matchup in Notre Dame Stadium. So it's going to be a tough game. And some of the flaws that we've seen with Notre Dame as far as tackling, linebackers having bad look. This is not the game to have bad fits, okay? If you have bad fits against this team, forget the perimeter run game. They will gas you with the dive.
That's right.
All day.
They're turning everything that's 3rd and 2, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, and the first downs. So,
man,
it sucks because you know it's coming, and they're getting it anyway.
And you're not going to get a lot of help. They're not like a lot of other teams that, you know, offensive line, you know, had a lot of procedure penalties and false starts and getting behind the sticks. Nah, this is a straight up, look, we're not going anywhere. You're better than us, but you're going to have to whoop out in order to win this game.
And in a lot of ways, you know, this is defining a lot for our offense because I don't think we have necessarily the offense that's like a 2020, 2019 Kansas City where we're just going to put up 56 points and you just got to outscore us. Yeah. Or even like a Golden State where they had Kevin Durant where they're just – you just going to have to beat us scoring. So this is not – so that's why I feel like a lot of defenses are play with us within a lot of games because we have a lot of special players, but we don't, as a unit, play like a lights-out offense. So that's why we have the games that I feel like we have with teams that even though we should beat and do beat, it's not like we're making it look so easy. So I think that for Navy, especially knowing what we're going to get on defense, Navy's defense isn't terrible, you know, so it's going to be interesting for us in executing on 3rd down and making sure our drives count. Because if our drives don't count, then the defense is going to be a lot more pressured. We're not going to have many chances at getting in the end zone, which is going to really define if our offense is as efficient as it should be. I don't think we're as efficient in other games. In regular games, we spend too much time, sometimes 3 and outs or getting too cute or whatever the case may be. But it's a game where we got to execute and be efficient, and it'll define a lot about our offense.
at some point in this game, you have to eliminate everything that has kind of derailed the offense and the defense in the last two games with USC and North Carolina. You know, we've seen a lot of drop passes, especially on crucial third downs. Can't have that. Those opportunities are gold. Yeah. Even more golden against a team like Navy and in this type of game. Like I said, the penalties. You can't have a big run and then have a holding call.
Right.
You know, when the holding call had no real impact, you know, getting everything you wanted to get done. So with all of that being said, it's just crazy that you come to this game and once again, you'll be without your All-American safety. And, you know, we just have to really ask the question because Brian Kelly was asked about this. And, you know, it was interesting the answer he gave. He was asked, is this the last time Kyle Hamilton, or have we seen Kyle Hamilton play his last game at Notre Dame?
I do. And look, it's his decision, and those aren't easy decisions. And he'll lean on his family. You know, we have an outside source that we bring in that evaluates all of our players, that he's got a chance to listen to all that information. But Kyle will make the right decision and what's right for him. And look, we're assuming that everything goes great with his knee, right? I mean, so let's make that assumption. And then if that's the case, he'll have all the information in front of him, and we're going to support him 100%, whatever it is. And again, that's the nature of where we are today in college football. Guys got to make those kinds of decisions, but we'll support him. He's been a great teammate.
So I'll take that back. He wasn't asked whether or not he's played his last game. He was asked whether or not Kyle Hamilton is going to play again at Notre Dame, and he said, "I do." He thinks he'll play again. Look, let me tell you something, man.
Yeah, let's just talk about it.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell Kyle Hamilton today, hey brother, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
thank you for everything that you've done.
Listen, you
on and off the field for this program.
Yeah.
You
will be remembered.
You are remembered. And,
legend, and
you don't have to. Brian Kelly, like you don't have to come in. Who's gonna come in? All they has to do is Google all the draft reports.
Yeah.
All the mocks. Like we don't need no special outside investigator to come in. Like this is what the NFL is saying. Let me tell you something, man. Your first round top 10 pick, my brother.
On TV. You can look on TV right now.
Think about that. And the irony of it is, after the great comeback story, we are watching the career of Jalen Smith come to an end right before our eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe hangs on and plays a few more years, but not at the level that he was able to get back to. And that's a great story, the fact that he was able to get back to that after that tragic injury in the bowl game.
Not necessarily recover all the money, but got a good part of the money that he should have got before he got hurt.
Absolutely. So, Notre Dame fans, I mean, I understand. You can be selfish. You want to see him play. If you can't beat the remaining teams on your schedule without Kyle Hamilton, that says something about the program.
Yeah, and I don't think the program is even down that road to where Kyle makes us a phenomenal team. We're a really good team now. He makes us a phenomenal team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So not having Kyle, I mean, we won last week. So it's not like I don't want to say it like we don't need him because we 100%, 1,000% need him. And especially, I would say if he was to come back in the playoffs because I believe we could win. But that's if I was thinking he should come back. I don't think he should come back because what else does he have to prove to anybody? I mean, he's got exactly everything that you come to school for. You graduate, get your high marks and go to the league. And he has just done it faster and at a higher accomplished rate than anybody else. So his reward is already set up in stone pretty much. He just got to make sure he come to the dinner on time. That's a
And,
so for him. Come to the dinner on time. Get healthy, man. Don't even worry about this.
and all that mushy stuff about playing for your brothers and all of that stuff. Man, look.
Man, look.
Irish fans, you know, there's certain Irish fans that probably feel like still don't like the direction that college football and amateur sports are taking in general with the NIL. You know how people say, yeah, you know, our first job is to educate these kids. Man, stop. The top teams are football factories, dude. They don't educate these kids. And if these kids want to take advantage of their education, that's their own choice. But the mindset of these top kids, these top 100 to top 200 kids, when they come into these schools in the SEC, Big Ten, and ACC, their goal is to get to the NFL. That's it.
And that's how they go about their routine every day. I think
that's it. That's why they get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. They don't get up at 5 a.m. in the morning because of their brotherhood. It's their dream.
Well, winning games takes a brotherhood.
No, that's what I'm saying. But the motivation, bro.
The motivation is different. Yeah, motivation.
That motivation for that 4:30 a.m. workout or that 5 a.m. workout.
That's a career building day. It's a career build for yourself. It's your individual career building.
Absolutely.
Thing. That's determination.
You digging deep because the dream is not to play at that particular school. The dream is to play on Sunday. Yeah. That's the dream. And this is the path to that dream.
Absolutely.
You know, and when you get to a point where you've realized and you've gotten to the pinnacle of your value on this level, and you don't want to jeopardize that value because the dream is within reach and you can taste it, then by all means, go rest up, young man. Yeah. Go buy you a nice little beach house out in San Diego.
Yeah. And relax.
And relax and work out every morning.
And that's just a sign that it just tells you, man, job well done. It's something that's not serious enough to where you really worried about your draft stock.
Yeah.
It's early enough in the season to where you can go get healthy and you don't even have to do the combine stuff, I wouldn't believe. No. So you really just getting in phenomenal shape, phenomenal health, and picking which nice suit you want on draft day. But thank you for your services.
You're definitely not going to the combine.
No.
Right?
No.
You know, you'll go there to have them test out the knee.
Yeah, but like that's pro day
test, you know, Wonderlic, whatever analytical test they want to give to try and determine how intelligent you are and all of that. And then sit down with teams and have some meetings with the heads of those teams, the owner, general manager, head coach. That's fine. But at the end of the day, there is nothing else that he owes this program.
Yeah, nothing else.
You know what I mean? Because from a recruiting standpoint, he has given the standard to the next two recruiting classes, safeties and DBs, for somebody to look at to say, yo, that's a first-round talent that came from Notre Dame at my position. So what he's created, not only during his time in the past and now in the present, and what he's created from a recruiting standpoint for the future at his position, yes, we're good.
We're good.
I'm good, man. Like, hey, if we've seen him play the last time, man, my lasting impression will be the interception snatch of the helmet off against Florida State. That right there,
iconic moment.
He gave me that moment the first game of the season. Like, get it out of the way.
Get out the way.
Get it out the way.
It's what you wanted to see, man. It's exactly the guy who we thought he was coming into the season.
Yeah.
He jumped off early with picks in the first 4 games. Something crazy, just like Trayvon Diggs in a sense.
Yep.
I mean, from a perfect ending, I mean, listen, he has nothing to prove to me.
No.
I think if he was just like, you know what, I want to keep playing for Malik, that's gonna make my decision. I'll be like, listen, you did it, man. Nothing
Look,
for me. Yeah,
I was
nothing.
his roommate, and I'm like, "Yo, you playing next week?" Because Brian Kelly said more than likely he'll be ready for Virginia, right? If I was his roommate and I asked him, like, "Cal, you playing next week?" and he was like, "Yeah," I'm like, "What the hell for?
Yeah, wow.
For what?
I thought we were going on vacation at
For
we were
what?"
going house vacation at
Like,
the
you know, and it will actually be selfishly because I'm like, hold on, when you don't play, I get to start. So,
yeah.
what you playing for,
I'm trying to get my little value up, man.
bro? Like, we good. Like, we can win without you. We can beat Navy and Virginia. We'll be straight. You know, if we make it to the playoffs, if you want to come back, I'll step aside. That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man. It's like everybody knows, and Brian Kelly, he knows. That's why Brian Kelly answered the way he answered. Like, yo, that's his decision. Like,
Coach Kelly knows that he got to walk light too because he doesn't want to come off in a selfish way himself. You know what I mean? So you know he almost got to say more power to you. But in the back of his mind, that's why he had to mention in this day and age.
yeah,
That's what guys got to think about because
right.
if it wasn't this day and age, he would be
Yeah.
like, "Are you kidding me?" No, he's gonna play. He's practicing tomorrow, so
Right.
we squashing that. We're moving on to Navy. He's gonna be there.
Right.
But now it's like, you know, players can leave. They can. Some brands and social medias are big for players now, so you can't just say anything anymore. You can't just, you know. So
man, it's crazy. So we're gonna get into it tonight. We'll have our live college football ranking show for the college football playoffs starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out then. We'll be unveiling the rankings right here for you on the Lucky Lefty podcast. So we'll just move along right quick, man. Let's recap some of the things that happened this past weekend. Hey, we can just start it off and just give it about 10 seconds because there's nothing else to say. Look, man, the biggest cocktail party took place down in Jacksonville, and all of the Florida Gators must have been drunk.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
it's just a pregame. I don't know.
and we talk about it all the time, man. Like teams, I feel like Georgia's defense toys with you, right? They're like, all right, let's give them a few yards. Let's give them a play. And it's like, okay. It's like playing your little brother in basketball out front of the crib. You know, let him hit a couple of shots, think he's like playing really good. He has a chance. And then all of a sudden, you know, especially if you're playing make it, take it, like, all right, let me run off about 15, 16 straight.
It's sick because it's one of the few teams I've ever seen that can really like press the button. That can really just turn it on and be like, all right, we done playing with you. 3 and out.
It's literally an easy button. It's literally an easy button. Like, yo, this is easy. Like
they I don't think that they underestimate teams. They just feel like when it's time to play, it's time to play. And I think either the money is good down there, that what they understand what it's about and they on the same page with it, or they just, like you said, these are what's your motivation for getting up at 5 a.m. Them boys in Georgia know on that defense side of the ball, they're going to the league.
They're going to the league. You know what I mean? That makes it easy at 3:30 in the morning to get up, grab something to eat, hit that weight room. I'm telling you. Well, when you know, and they know, like the way we looking, everybody eating on this defense. Everybody's eating. Like we all look at
starters and backups.
Yes.
Starters and backups eating.
Yes.
We all going to the league, so we just having fun. That's a team that's having fun.
It's bananas, man.
With no quarterback. With no quarterback.
No quarterback.
How are you the best team by far with no quarterback? Boy, this is crazy.
Yo, let's talk about two teams that Notre Dame actually, well, you know, one team that Notre Dame actually played early in the season. And I told you they were going to drag Iowa, right? I told you Wisconsin was going to drag Iowa. Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah, but listen.
And that actually makes Notre Dame look better, the resume. If Wisconsin runs the table, they end up winning the West and going to the Big Ten championship. Yeah. So that makes the resume good. Gives Notre Dame an outside chance of possibly making it to the playoffs. We'll dig into that on the CFP show later on tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. But dude, football is something else, especially college football, because it's easy for teams to look like these Cinderellas with these great seasons early on. But college football just has a way of exposing, like, nah.
It always shakes out. It always shakes out.
It takes the makeup off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you ever catch somebody like early in the morning, they didn't know they were gonna run into you, and they're not made up.
That's right.
And it's like, oh snap.
And it gets
the lights come on at the club.
That's right. And it hits. Reality smacks you in the face. And that's why Coach Kelly said there's nothing new. It's a standard, because the difference is, and Coach Kelly had a great quote. He used to say all the time, Octobers are for pretenders. November is for contenders. So this is an expectation for us at Notre Dame, was that, October, everybody's good. But November is where you get to the nitty gritty, where seasons are made. A lot of these Cinderella teams you hear about early on, they didn't even know they was going to be that good, right? That's why people were hype on them. But the season has a funny way of shaking out, because one, it gets colder, and two, expectations rise, and that film builds. So you got all types of, how do you continue success and consistency? I say all the time, I'm the only one, in my opinion, the only person, and you can date me back to where I couldn't give Patrick Mahomes the credit of being a young GOAT. I couldn't do it, because you have to have a consistent time frame. I said he's only had one season that he's really played for real. He blew up. Obviously, anybody with some great talent like him, it's going to take a while to figure it out. But what happens when it gets figured out? And that's what we see in year 3.
That happened. Dude, Tom Brady had down years in the middle of his career.
Right. But we can evaluate Tom Brady because he's literally been doing it for 20 years.
That's fair, but you can evaluate the fact that Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league. Like, it is, if we talk about just specific years,
right? That's what I'm saying. Specific years, Lamar Jackson was the best player in the league. But we're talking about who is the GOAT and who is the consistent, and who's going to be the consistent one at the end.
That's
right now, from a trajectory of career, Josh Allen is trending at a more consistent pace than any of the other ones. He's not hit the same heights, but he's been more consistent progressing. And I'm not even a Josh Allen fan. And you look at Kyler Murray's spiking right now.
I think Deshaun's done more with less than Josh Allen, but that's just
for sure. Deshaun never had a defense like Josh Allen.
He's never had a legitimate coach. Or offensive coordinator.
Or people that don't trade away his players, they actually get Josh Allen players. Stephon Diggs, all type of talent.
So I'm just saying, when you look at it, I understand that. But yeah, the college football season exposes teams, exposes programs, and you see why teams, even when you take a look at Clemson, and it's a bump in the road. It's a bump in the road. That's what I believe. It's a bump in the road. They'll dominate. They have the quarterback they have coming in next year. Like Jordan Cornette said, like if that cat DJ doesn't get it together, he's gonna be Kelly Bryant looking to transfer again.
Yeah, the guy behind, he's like another Trevor Lawrence almost, right? The guy that's coming in. But they also said that about the little running back they got, Christian McCaffrey, rebooted. They also talked high about him, but he's just another guy.
He decommitted from Notre Dame, so we sprinkled a little something on him. Will Shipley, we decommit from Notre Dame. We sprinkle a little something on you.
Take that with you. Take it with you.
That's like a -2 on all of your
all of your attributes.
Right. We go into the settings and -2 on everything.
I think we can take a DJ. We'll take a DJ because it will.
Man, don't mess with me like that. Don't
take
that.
A DJ.
Don't do that, man. If that dude, boy,
we can use him.
If
we can block.
they
We can block
into
for
the
him.
transfer portal.
Or we'll take Spencer. Shoot, because Spencer definitely got to go now. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, we'll definitely take Spence.
Man, look at here, boy. You're about to make Notre Dame.
Nah, I don't know.
Notre
Him
Dame
versus
fans
Coach
about to
Kelly,
get fired up, boy. Like you done heard something out there in California about Spencer Rattler. Hey,
I think he'll look nice.
You know, I bet you his fans watching right now. It's like, oh, I'm cool with Tyler Buckner. Say what?
I'm cool. No, Tyler. I mean, clearly we use Tyler sparingly anyway.
So let's say DJ decided to transfer at the end of this year, and you had the choice of bringing DJ in or being cool with Drew Pine, Steve Angeli, and Tyler Buckner in the quarterback room. You telling me you're not gonna entertain DJ?
Yeah, they'll definitely. I mean, I don't know. Then again, I don't know. I saw DJ on a Dr. Pepper commercial. I don't think that'll fly at Notre Dame if Coach Kelly don't got a Dr. Pepper commercial.
And I think I'm gonna be honest with you, man. As bad as he's played, I think he's somewhere in between what we saw when he came to Notre Dame Stadium and what we're seeing now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a.
Because either way, next year's offensive line, I think, has a chance to be beastly.
Yeah.
Really good. And no matter who you put back there.
That's what I said. We will be fine with him.
Yeah.
Like, Clemson couldn't use him because you got to be the man.
Right.
Over there. You don't got to be the man over here.
No.
And we'll be everywhere you want to be.
And honestly, I don't think Kyron will be back. That's just my opinion right now. I don't think Kyron returns.
Kyron needs to get some more money. You didn't see him run 91 yards back and forth over people all the way down. Look, he's another one. I thought when he got a little nick, I said, okay, that's cool. Just go ahead and get healthy, man. You already,
right.
You know, you did your thing. So
yeah, if he puts up another 200, he should just, man, score a touchdown and run up the tunnel.
Yeah, just keep running. Just run that.
Like, man, it's been real. I'm getting ready for the league.
It's definitely possible, and it needs to be talked about. You can max out your potential in college, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence maxed out his potential. Ian maxed out his potential. It's cool.
It's nothing else for Kyron. You know, people maybe come back win the Heisman. It's like, yo, he is who he is. People like the league knows who he is. He's not a first-round pick.
He's a more versatile Josh Jacobs, though.
Yeah, you can grab him late second, maybe early third. That's where running backs go for the most part. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing at all. You know,
because he wouldn't go any higher continuing to run the ball anyway.
No. And you might as well save the amount of carries that you have.
Yeah, like for what?
And just get to your dream, like we said.
Because no matter what, he's a second, third rounder. Nothing is going to change that. Unless he runs a 4-2.
Yeah. My Heisman pick right now, he wears number 9 for the Michigan State Spartans. Let me tell you something, boy. Let me tell you something, man.
You like this guy?
Hey, either way, it didn't matter if he had transferred or stayed where he had. He'd still be undefeated.
Yeah.
He would still be undefeated. It doesn't make a difference. He'd be undefeated at Wake Forest. He'd be undefeated at Michigan State.
That's kind of what I mean? That's kind of
crazy. I like him. I like him because he's, a bell cow. That's why I respect him. He reminds me of Kyron. He's a bell cow. You don't get a lot of those guys, not running style. I'm talking about guys you can depend on to take the rock 30-something times a game. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time, that Michigan defense was giving up sub 3 yards per rush. That's what they came into that game giving up. This young man said, hold my beer. Let me show you something.
8 yards a carry.
Yo. And then the fourth quarter just wore him down. It was just running through tackles. Like, I like him. I'm not sitting up here saying he's a first-round back, but heck yeah.
This is the year for a different skill position to sneak up in there because quarterback play is pretty general throughout. I mean, obviously Caleb can be considered, but
nobody
hasn't had his moment yet.
Yeah, nobody's really standing out. Maybe Caleb Williams if he continues on this trend and they get.
He gotta have like a moment And I don't really see too many places down the schedule where you can have a chance to do
Hey,
that.
Kenneth Walker has one more opportunity to make a moment. Like if they beat Ohio State and he has a big game, I pretty much would tell you it's a wrap.
It will have to be. It will have to be. And he can do it because Ohio State is real suspect on that defense.
Well, Penn State showed you that you can move the ball, on Ohio State. Minnesota showed you the first game out with Ibrahim before he got hurt that you can run the ball in that Ohio State defense. And Ohio State let Penn State stay in that game. Man, Sean Clifford is so trash, man.
That's messed up.
He's a disgrace to Ohio quarterbacks, bro. Like, y'all need to kick him out the club.
Man, you know what it is? It's just like it's hard to be good all the time. And when you at a front running team like Penn State, where they're so inflated early on and then they just get deflated so fast towards the end of the season, it's just the culture that's built, and maybe he's just consumed some of that culture.
Yeah.
Because he has some good talent, but it's not like he's got an it factor like a Joe Burrow, where he's going to see it through.
Yeah.
Some of these games he's just going to win. So I think he's got a nice career for a nice backup, just like, I think Drew Pine could be a nice backup somewhere, so.
Heck, that cat Ian Book might be a couple of snaps away from seeing the field.
Sure. I think he can compete with little Trevor Siemian, let him know his plays enough. Trevor Siemian didn't look bad, so hopefully Ian can get his shot, man. But that's just look at the Irish, man, getting a good spot. Go ahead, do your thing, man.
So, like I said, it's a great weekend of college football. Big time win. I don't think anybody. I think James Franklin's agent is probably begging people to call him now.
Oh yeah,
the dude is probably that Illinois loss. Schools probably stopped calling. Like, oh, word, you lost.
Where would you go though?
I'll tell you one thing. I hate to break the Spartans' heart, and I hope it doesn't happen. But that blank check might have showed up for Baton Rouge Saturday night in East Lansing.
You think so?
Man, that private plane took off about 4:30 p.m. Central. Probably landed at about 6:30. That blank check was delivered right to his door. Like, hey, here you go.
That's a hot job right now. That's a job that nobody say no to that one.
I think it's his for the taking. I really do at this point. And there's nothing else for him to prove. Like, even if he loses to Ohio State, what he's done with a program that was in shambles, left in shambles by Martin D'Antoni, left in shambles. And what he's did, reestablished it, turned it around. And his speech after the game was just like, oh, my God, you want to give a resume pitch or a pitch as a head coach? Yeah, talking about what it meant for his career. And he was like, no, this is about Michigan State and the players and the fans. I'm like, oh, look at this, boy. If you're a board of regents, boy, at another school, you look at this school, you like, boy, this is what I'm talking about. The speech this dude just gave. And I would like to say this, man. Anything that happens in my life from now on, I got to have my boy do the play-by-play for it. I don't care if it's like me renewing my vows. I don't care if it's my daughter's graduation.
Yeah.
Gus got to do it.
You got to do it.
Gus has to do it, man. Gus is that dude. Basketball, football. Let's rank, right? The top three would have to be Keith Jackson, Gus, Vern's longevity with the SEC games, especially the 3:00 SEC game. But if you go back, you have to throw Brent Musburger in there.
I like Brent Musburger.
You like Brent?
I like Brent.
But the top, man, give me Gus, Jackson, the Whoa Nelly. That's that voice I grew up with.
Yeah.
It's hard to get rid of, but that cat Gus, boy, he's easily top two.
Well, legendary stuff like that's what you want to be around anyway. I mean,
Chris Fowler's solid too.
Chris Fowler is cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of them can be too TV.
Yeah. I feel you. Like Gus Gus is hip hop.
He said Gus hip hop.
Gus is hip hop. They need to let Gus call the Masters, yo.
Oh man.
They need to let him call a golf tournament.
Do you think we could make some strides in that? I think we would pull some great ratings. Like Snoop Dogg doing the Olympics got some great ratings.
Yeah, I don't know if I want Snoop at the Masters though.
Not Snoop, but something
Snoop
different.
at the Masters, dude. They might get kicked off. They might lose their TV contract, dog. Snoop
Or
at
the
the
audience,
Masters.
one of the two.
Man, we should be happy we got him for halftime at the Super Bowl.
Straight up.
Man, getting that dude at the Masters. Well, he's been doing a lot of hockey too, though.
Really?
He has been doing hockey.
Is there an audience for that? For him?
I don't. You know what? If they do a separate broadcast like they do with the Mannings,
But the Mannings just fit, man. They're both like.
yeah. But if you had Snoop do like a hockey joint, and the way Snoop can like use his words to describe like what's going on the ice, and have him have like hip hop or cultural guests while he's talking about it, doing many interviews, Snoop could probably get away with it. Snoop could probably get away with it.
That's just
like who would be the former Notre Dame player that could do like a separate broadcast during Notre Dame games and do like interviews and be like entertaining?
Me.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Oh, if it wasn't me.
I mean, I'm just like, hey, Peacock, NBC. I mean, he's right here. I mean,
he's right here. I like who they got now. With
I
Jack
just want to find his feet. I just want to find his feet for the thought.
Just a quick little 3%.
That's all. Do a separate podcast. You can put separate podcast up on Peacock with Malik, bringing back old players, interviewing recruits on big recruiting weekends during the game. That'll be sweet.
It'd be sweet. We're bringing all the guys. Think of all the guys we could have interviewed during the USC week.
During the USC game, if you had been chopping it up with that cat Xavier X-Wonka.
On the center stage, Notre Dame gonna get you a nice little setup. So I would have had it.
Yeah. Oh, like you could have been like elevated right there on the sideline.
Front of the crowd, they let us think outside the box. Man.
Hey, let me tell you something. Also, I put this responsibility on all Notre Dame fans, okay? Because the structure and the foundation of the fourth quarter light show is solid.
It's solid.
It's solid.
Is that our new thing?
But from what I've seen from these independent videos taken in the stands, y'all gotta do a lot better getting into it, dude. You can't come on, man. Y'all just can't be standing there looking at each other.
Now
we're playing the jump song, and ain't nobody jumping. Ain't nobody's moving.
See,
y'all just looking.
We just wholesome. We waiting for the moment. We waiting for the direction.
Y'all looking real wine and cheeses.
Well, we better than Stanford. We ain't read no books in the stands like that.
Oh man,
read books in the stands and doing the homework and stuff. Yeah, we just an intramural game or something. At least we dress up for the occasion. We got some spirit coming in. We like our big plays and our little songs. So now,
what's up with your boy Dan Mullen, man? He's struggling down there. Talking about
at this point in the SEC, it's about having a quarterback. It used to be the run game and the defense. It's always been the defense, but nowadays the stakes for having a quarterback are just too high, and you just not gonna beat these teams without a quarterback. You're not beating Bama without no quarterback. You for sure ain't beating Georgia without no quarterback and another player on the offense. You're not beating LSU without a consistent quarterback because they can win games too. So it's the stakes are too high, teams are too good in the SEC, and Ohio State if you don't have a quarterback.
The thing about Florida is it's one of those programs, same thing with Florida State. People are really baffled. Like, the hotbed of talent that's in Florida. Like, how are these two programs, like, continually struggling and can't get back to the level of excellence that existed? Why can't they find the right coach? Dan Mullen had been there, but, it had been reported how terrible Dan Mullen had been in interviews, and that led to him not getting big-time jobs. And he's terrible in front of reporters, man. I mean, he's just not a good press conference. Look, man, they should be able to offer coaches like a substitute if they're not good at press conference, right? I mean, because literally they just shut down access to them this week. The university's like, you know what? We're not doing anything this week, man. Like, no access at all to this dude. But Bruce Feldman on The Athletic, man, did a piece on the state of everything, the state of the program. And go check it out, man. He just really talked the way he explains it. That program is in shambles, and I was shocked at how bad it is. And it's just like, Malik, you were just there not too long ago. It's like you think about the Swamp and Danny Warfel and Tim Tebow and all the great defensive players that went to the league, and man, the old ball coach Steve Spurrier. It baffles me, especially in the SEC, that they have taken this much of a step back after Kyle Trask and that crew did what they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you how hard it is to be good every year. And when you don't have a bona fide culture established just yet, it's just going to take a while. This is just like a bump in the road for like Clemson. Clemson has an identity and a culture that and feel good that they'll bounce back from.
Yeah.
Florida's kind of in that slipping stage like Texas, to where you can see that they can be really good, but they can't sustain it. They got a lot of turnover. They got a lot of mediocre quarterback play, mediocre O-line play, D-line play. So there's a lot of inconsistencies on the culture side for Florida.
Yeah.
That don't allow them to be consistently great. They'll have some great years because out of some of those years they'll be able to put it together because they have such superstar players. But it's nothing to sustain it because the culture is just not conducive enough to where everybody is buying in.
Yeah.
When I was there, you got people living all over the place. It's not a heavy centralized place to be in relation to the stadium every day. That's just a little thing, So I know that to be a winning culture, it takes a lot of different pieces. Like you think about Notre Dame, they make it look easy, but there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of discipline it takes to consistently do it year in and year out. And unfortunately, in college football, some coaches are just really, really good football coaches, but nowadays you got to be much more to have a consistent program, So
yeah.
Mullen is a wonderful football coach. He's going to get you some good offensive points. He's going to have the teams fight every week. But just like many of other good football coaches that aren't great overall, like everything in a bag type of coaches, it's just hard to find. It's hard to find because a lot of times guys are trying to focus on winning games. They're not thinking about establishing nothing because they know their job on the line every year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a tough spot.
It really is a tough spot to find those guys that are like Nick Sabans and that can just really be, emperors over this, dynasty, if you will, and can do everything pretty well and be beloved and get votes for public office as governor and, don't have chinks in the armor to say that, to really poke at. And Brian Kelly, just really be appreciative of what he's established at Notre Dame. And, even when we point out how petty he is sometimes, some of the things he can say, his false humor, not being funny when he's trying to be funny. Besides all that, you accept the fact that he's one of the top coaches in college football. And, you look at other programs and say, you know what, it could be worse. Each and every week we give you the petty story or the petty person of the week to put on the petty train. And this week we go outside of football and we go over to the NBA because your boy Marcus Smart, man.
I'd like to play basketball. Every team knows we're trying to go to Jason and Jalen. And every team is programmed and studied to stop Jason and Jalen. And I think everybody's scouting report is make those guys try to pass the ball. They don't want to pass the ball. And that's something that they're going to learn.
I'd like to say, he was put in that position by the Chicago Bulls. Back from down 19, late in the third. Chicago's own.
Yeah.
Morgan Park's own. Shout out to my fellow Mustangs. Ayo Dosunmu coming off the bench, putting up 14. Also, my fellow Illini doing his thing for the Chicago Bulls, putting Marcus Smart in the spot, press conference, post game to throw Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown under the bus. They shoot too much, and everybody game plans knows that they're going to shoot. They need to learn how to pass the ball. And I watched the fourth quarter, and when I saw Dennis Schroeder shoot 2 straight air balls early in the fourth, I'm like, if I'm the star player, there's no way he's getting the ball.
Dennis Schroeder thinks he's a star player anyway.
Everywhere he goes. So, put that dude Marcus Smart on the petty train, man. And Brian Kelly pulled down the horn.
Brian Kelly had to make a pit stop into the basketball world, pick up another petty passenger.
Man, that cat Brian Kelly is always the conductor. So we'll see you guys at 7 p.m. Eastern for the live show, college football playoff rankings. We'll dig deep into it. We'll talk about if Notre Dame still has a shot. I know my top 4 that I'm predicting is different from his top 4, and we'll get into that before the unveiling of the top 4 in the initial college football playoff rankings. For my man, Lucky Lefty, it's Navy week.
Get gritty. Put them knee pads on, man, because they're going to be coming for him.
It's going to be about 35-40, Notre Dame Stadium. Get your gloves. Get your little insulated hot pads in your gloves. And get you something to sit on the seats there, too.
Yeah, because it's gonna get boring a little bit, too, now.
Man, we'll see you guys at 7 right here on Lucky Lefty Podcast.
You're listening to the Lucky Lefty Podcast with Malik Zaire.
Never will there ever be another like me. You can play the left because it ain't no right in me.
And Shaun.